Greetings Terrarians, Khaios here. A new commenter day is upon us. This month I had 4 similar requests which I'll be working on today. Sun Griffin the Ultimate had requested I build Yggdrasil. Kurt asked for an enchanted forest. Frock also requested a forest. And BTL Team TNT had asked for a Norse mythological build. So all of these really kind of go hand in hand together, as long as I take a little bit of interpretation on how the tree and the forests are built. So today I'll be giving my own spin on Yggdrasil and the surrounding forest. Admittedly, my knowledge with Norse mythology is not that great, but I hope you all enjoy my interpretation of this mythological tree anyway. So first up, we're going into Teedet. I knew this is going to be a big tree and it's going to take a lot of time, so I wanted to utilize Teedet to the most efficient way possible for this build, just to save a lot of time. So I started off by sculpting the tree in its most rough, raw form in Teedet, and now I'm getting into some landscaping bits right here. And I'm just going to carve out the area. I know that I want to have a little water feature in the forest, and I know that I want to have some different levels and layers to it and a couple of rolling hills. So I'm just bringing the earth down to the underground level and just sculpting the terrain, and then I'll move the tree back into its original position. And while I work on that, I just want to say, be sure to leave a comment in the section below letting me know what you'd like me to build for next month's commenter day. I do try to pick the most upvoted build, but maybe a build that stands out to me the most, or if numerous build requests fit together, I really like to try and pick multiple comments and tie them together. So do leave a comment with your request, and we'll see if it gets selected for next month. Now that Yggdrasil's in its new position, I'm gonna throw down some gray painted sandstone block. As you all know, I just love the way this looks as a stone. And I'm gonna kind of give a cave texture right below the tree and kind of right in the surrounding area as well. Now I'm just kind of setting up a sort of palette that I'll be using to create the background walls for the inside of the cave. And I selected 3 of the natural forming rock walls, and I'm painting them gray and just kind of making a random pattern. Now it's time to go into the game itself and start shaping the body of the tree a little bit more. I'll be adding some wood in some places, removing some wood in other places, and just giving the overall shape to the tree by sloping it with a hammer. Now I'm giving the same level of detail to the stone cave beneath the tree, just sloping everything out, adding a little bit more stone where I see that it needs to be added, and just making things look nice and smooth. For now, I'm filling the area beneath the tree with a pond. although I'll revisit that in a little bit. And I start to place the leaves in game, and I realize how long it would take for a tree this massive, so I decided to hop back into T-Edit and just help save a lot of time. All in all, this build took me about 3.5, almost 4 hours using T-Edit as much as I did, so I'm really glad that I did use T-Edit for this sort of thing, because it would have taken me much longer to do this by hand in game, which I could have done. I just don't have that kind of time. And while I work on those, I wanted to just say that the channel is growing really well. I'm really excited for how many of you are joining us lately, and just seeing the growth is really excited. It got me really pumped up for these videos. I do apologize again that I'm not pushing out 3 videos a week, but give me a few more weeks and I'll get back to that, I promise. In the time being, I am planning a 1,000 subscriber special, because it looks like we'll be hitting that in the next week or two at the rate that the channel is currently growing, which is super exciting. Very much looking forward to it. I won't be spoiling what I'm going to be doing for that video, but I do want to know, so let me know in the comments if you guys think that I should premiere the 1,000 subscriber special, or do you think I should just make it a standard video? So let me know in the comments what you guys would like. Would you like to hang out and chat with me while you guys watch the 1K special, or should we just make it a normal video? Let me know. Now I'm moving to placing the background walls for the tree, just to fluff it up and make it look a little bit more full. And I'm using, as usual, the living leaf wall for this. Going back into T-Edit just to make the tree a little bit more full, and because the tree is so big and dense, I actually thought it might be best to go ahead and place the holes in the leaves that let light through, just so it's not so dark, and do that in T-Edit so I don't have to dig my way to every area that needs holes. And this just was basically done to save some time. Now I'm adding some more rock features, some more caves. I'll be adding another waterfall segment. Originally, my plan with this tree was to kind of go a little bit more on the Norse mythology and do kind of references to the 9 planets that were tied to the tree. However, I realized how long this tree was taking already, and I honestly, as much as I'd love to just spend a week on this thing, I didn't have the time. And really, if I sped the video up much faster than this, it'd be a lot harder for you guys to tell what's actually going on. And so I try to keep the builds under 3 hours. This one went a little over, but that's okay. So I had to scrap the 9 planet idea, and I'm just going to go ahead and do something a little bit different with the enchanted forest feel. Now, inside of the tree, while I was doing my research on it, I saw some artwork and concept images and what have you of the tree that had kind of like this life force glowing through it, peering through cracks in the trees, and that's kind of something that I wanted to throw into this build just to make it feel a little bit more mystical than just being a giant tree. Since I decided not to do the 9-planet idea, I do want to make this build look as good as I can with the amount of time that I have, so I decided to do a waterfall feature. I'm grabbing a jungle fountain just to give the water a little bit more of a green tint to it, and I decided to add a waterfall kind of segment to the build on the right side. Using some negative paint and smoke blocks actually makes for a really good looking splash feature for waterfalls. It doesn't get off light like if you were to use white painted a living fire, and it still moves around like a good splash. Now, all of the sandstone that I added did kind of spawn a desert in here for a little bit, so I had to clear some out, and I decided to just carve away a little bit under the tree and add a blackness to it like it's a cave. And taking the suggestion that Kurt had made, decided to throw a little pixie cave in there, except they're not really pixies, they're fireflies and lightning bugs, but decided they looked half decent. The walls were painted shadow, and the jars with the fireflies in them were also painted shadow, so you can't actually see the jars, you just see the little globes floating around in circles. I wanted to also go into Kurt's suggestion a little bit more. He had asked for a dwarven village, and I didn't feel that I had enough time to do an entire village, but I did want to add a small house at least. Hopping back into T-Edit for a quick spell, just to kind of draw some basic trees that I will be adding for the actual forest itself. I'm not going to go as much into detail with these trees as I did with the main one because obviously they won't be the focus. And now I'm just going to work on shaping each tree and adding the leaves and just finishing each tree individually. Now that the trees are finished, I'm just adding some final touches to the forest. Some shrubbery here and there. I'm using various kinds of strange plants. Two of them, the purple and the green one, I will be painting lime, and the red one will be unpainted. I'm also throwing some blueberries around, and I'm also using some green and teal mushrooms. Both of those are painted with red paint, just to kind of give the forest a little bit more of a grown feel to it. And that is Yggdrasil done. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. I know it's not exactly what I had planned, but given the amount of time that I allotted for it, I think it turned out quite nicely, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoyed building it. Again, for the 1K video, let me know in the comment section if you'd like me to premiere that video or not. Be sure to also leave a comment below with any requests you have for next month's commenter day. A big thank you to Sun Griffin the Ultimate, Kurt0815, Frock, and BTL Team TNT for your suggestions for today's video, and a thank you to everybody else that made a comment requesting for the video. I do see a lot of really interesting ideas there, so even if your video, or I mean your comment, didn't make it in today's video, I might actually be doing some of them in the future because some of those ideas are pretty interesting and I'd like to see how those builds come out. Thank you all very much for watching, and thank you all of my new viewers for coming to the channel. I really appreciate all of the support and the hype that we've been getting lately. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. For now, I'll catch y'all later. Happy building.